Today I'm with Mr. Ulrich Eichelmann. He's the CEO of Riwerwatch, international organization, watchdog organization for rivers based in Vienna. He's also coordinator of Balkan Rivers campaign. He's ecologist and nature conservationist. Mr. Eichelmann, nice to meet you today.
Thanks for having me.
You recently spent 2 weeks in Bosnia and Herzegovina. 2 weeks, yes?
A week, 8 days, 9 days, yeah.
Okay. Did you come for a specific reason, or it was a regular tour on the field?
Well, no, it was a press trip also for German media to show the beauty of the Neretva and the threats, like the Ulok hydropower plant under construction, or further downstream. We were in Nevesinsko Polje to show also the Upper Horizons Dam project. We were in Blagaj to see where the Buna comes out, Buna Bunica. And yeah, that was the purpose of the trip. But I've been many times in the last 11 years in Bosnia, and especially along the Neretva, but also Drina, Una. I know many rivers in Bosnia.
Yeah. Neretva is currently most threatened river in Bosnia and Herzegovina. We already have like 4 hydropower plants here, and a new one in Ulog is in process of building. It's under construction, yes.
Yeah.
You
no,
also...
the Neretva, sorry, but the Neretva is even in a European context. On the one hand, one of the most valuable rivers of the continent, I would say, because it is very diverse. For example, you have several trout species. You have softmouth trout, you have marmorata trout, you have Adriatic trout, and that's a lot, because in the rest of Europe, you have mostly brown trout, no? And many other species. And at the same time, unfortunately, it is probably the most threatened river of Europe as well. So when you look at it, what they want to do, what they plan to do is they want to kill the river. Not once, they make sure it's not ever going to stand up. They drown it, they hang it, and they shoot it, literally, symbolically speaking, because they want to dam the Neretva. For example, there's projects below Ulok. There's projects like Bielimici, Klavaticevo. They want to build big reservoirs. So they want to drown the Neretva. The side arms, like Ljuta, Doljanka, Rakitnica, and so on, they want to put into pipelines to divert. You know, that is small hydropower plants are foreseen. And then, in addition to taking away from the tributaries, drowning the main river, they want to take away the groundwater from the river. That is the purpose of Upper Horizons project in the other part. So it's really, they want to make sure nothing will be left from that river. If we let them.
Yeah, exactly. Now the progress on small hydropower plants on Neretva's tributaries is halted, I think, especially in Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. But as you say, there are greater threats, like Ulog hydropower plant. You witnessed fish pestilence while you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was. We went to Ulog, and then next to the construction site, a little downstream, and I wanted to show to the German journalists from the Süddeutsche Zeitung a beautiful spot that I know. It's a hanging bridge in a canyon of Neretva, and I've been there many times before. It's really a very scenic, unbelievable, beautiful place. And then when we came there, it was the opposite. It looked like a sewage canal. It was completely grayish, the water. It smelled. You could see that where the shallow water of the side was algae already. So that is an indication that this was going on for weeks. So it was not only that day, no? And fishermen found a lot of dead trouts in that section. So that's where we did the filming a little bit, and that was the start of the awareness, getting awareness. It is, for me, frustrating to see, on the one hand, that's the way how even the construction of dams harm rivers. And this is, in a way, don't get me wrong, but it's a good thing. Suddenly people see the damage because of the color of the water. Normally, the impact is much bigger, but you don't see it because the water is still clear and people can't tell. No, how can you tell whether it's bad or good? But this is a clear indication, and that's pollution. So I think there's a chance, but the headquarter of EFT, the Vukanovic company, that is the main investor in Ulok. Their basis is in Kalinovic. They must act. They must stop the construction during this. I mean, for me, they must stop the construction at all, following the recommendation of the Berne Convention. And we're convinced that very soon the energy community, that's a forefront organization of the EU, based in Vienna, will also open a case against Bosnia and Herzegovina because of Ulok and Gordon and Neretva projects. But for now, when in autumn there is so little water in the river, naturally, because it didn't rain for long, there's very little. You can easily walk through the river. And when you then do that work and pollute, then the mix is dangerous. You have little mix. It's like you drink
gray water in combination with a low water table.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's that. So when you would have 10 times more water flowing in the river, like it was in June, then it wouldn't be so poisonous, no?
Yeah. And also, you visited Biograd sinkhole on Zalonka River in Nevesinje, which is connected through crust terrain to Buna River. Buna River gets its waters from Nevesinsko polje, yes?
Yeah.
And you witnessed the research which is done by, I don't know who, government of Republika Srpska or some company, and they did the research on connection of those waters. Yes.
Yeah.
In which stage this project is upper horizons? Do you know? And could it be stopped?
It can always be stopped until it's fully operational. So that's my life experience so far. There miracles are happening, not every day, but they have happened. Austria is a very good example where I live, because in the late 70s, Austria constructed a nuclear power plant, and they built it completely. It was finalized, and then they asked suddenly, due to political pressure, the people of Austria, do you want nuclear power? And 50.5% voted against nuclear power, and therefore the nuclear power plant is standing there, but it's never been operational. No, that for me, that's nuclear power, and that's a symbol for me. So there's always hope until it's really operational. No, what is going on in that field is they're coming closer. They're working now between Dabarsko polje and Nevesinsko polje. They're constructing, but without the Nevesinsko polje, without that karstic field, if we would stop that part, then the whole Upper Horizons project would collapse, because the Nevesinsko polje and damming the Zalonka River, make a big dam and create a reservoir, is the heart of the whole project.
Okay.
So they will also divert water from Gachko polje, which is even higher, to Nevesinje. So if we would manage to stop the dam construction in Zalomka, then the whole project is at risk. And they're constructing with the financial support of loans from China. And a lot of, when you go also in Dabarsko Polje, you see everything is in Chinese letters, you know, China brings energy and these slogans. That's an unfortunate combination, Republika Srpska and China. We're facing that in several parts. The problem here I see also is it is like Ulok. It's built in the Republika Srpska, but the negative impact is in the federation side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that is my next question. Since the Neretva, especially lower Neretva, gets water from Nevesinsko Polje through the crust terrain of Bunica as lower Neretva biggest tributary. Can you explain to the people in Bosnia and Herzegovina, especially those who live in the valley of Neretva and its tributaries, what the finalization of this project will mean for them?
It would completely change what you know so far, because it's so, I think for many people it's difficult to understand that, for example, the Zalomka, but also the other poljes, like in Dabarsko Polje, is connected to Bregava, for example. No?
Yes.
Although it enters the underground, it is part of the Neretva system. And these karstic polje systems exist only on Balkans. There is no place in the world where these ecosystems exist. So that's a very unique selling point. And whenever I'm there in the Nevesinje, I said, Jesus Christ, if that would be such a wonderful protected area with international standards, where people would come to see these natural beauties. During the spring, you have the water flowing, and there would be a major ecotourism place in Europe, together with Bunica, all this. What happens if they win and they build the dam? So the water in Bunica, Bregava, Hutovo Blato further downstream, they all depend on the karst fields. Because the karst fields are filling up the karst system underground during winter and spring, and Bunica and the others live from this sponge, if you like, no? Mm-hmm. And by blocking the entrance, blocking the sinkholes, the impact will be huge. You will see when you're in Blagaj, for example, it will be much, much less water. Nobody knows how much. It could be completely collapsing because nobody can predict the impact in a karst field. You can ask professors wherever you want. These karstic things are so unknown because a little earthquake or a little natural chemical process in the underground can change completely the way the river flows underground, no?
Yeah, really delicate terrain, yeah.
Yeah, and that makes it interesting in the one, it's still something we don't see and don't understand. It's nice, I think. Yeah. But what is clear is that is connected, and you should not get involved in something that you don't understand and you can't predict. I understand when the project Uphorizons was planned. That's 60 years ago, actually. There was Yugoslavia. There were not so many countries. There was one. It was a completely different time. People were poor in that region. There was no environmental thinking. There was no global warming. That's my point. So the conditions when the technicians planned this project have fundamentally changed. So I'm personally convinced that not even from a technical point of view, this project will work, because you will have less and less rainfall over a longer period. You will have severe droughts, where Zalomka would flow much less. So you would not be able to refill the reservoir that is needed you know. So all these things, they did not take that into account. And that's a crime, I think, these days. You are dealing with a lot of species. You know, there's these two fish species, that the cave fish, they live in the underground all the year. And when the water comes to these estavelas, come up, and then they come into the meadows of Nevesinsko polje, but also Dabarsko polje, and they spawn in the shallow waters. The babies come, and then the water in, let's say, in May, goes back into the underground. All the fish moves with them, and they live there, you know, in the darkness. And then next year they come back. And it's clear that if Up Horizons becomes reality, there is two fish species that would go globally extinct. And there are not many projects in Europe where you have that impact. And that's only the fish we know. You know, there must be, there for sure, hundreds, if not thousands, of endemic species. Endemic means they only live there and nowhere else in the world. Insects, many insects and so on, that we don't even know.
Yeah, recently a new species was discovered near Ulog. Like few months ago, new species of insect.
Many.
You are familiar with that?
Yes. No, we had this Science Week 2022 and 2023, where we have many scientists being together in Ulog for 1 week, and they collect everything, they catch everything they can, no? And I only have the data from last year. So last year, the scientists found 7 or 8 species that were new to science. And this year as well, but we don't have the final numbers. They're still coming in, these numbers, and we will prepare the report. And with that report, we will not only inform the Berne Convention or the EU, but also we will inform the local communities along the Neretva. You know, go to Konitz, go to villages like Glavatičevo, but also Kalinovic, Gachko, Sarajevo, even Banja Luka, to make the people understand what they have. And that is, I think that's one of the crucial points, that most people don't know what the value of what they have, what the Neretva is. Mm-hmm. It is of European importance, like the Vjosa in Albania, you know, which is now.
Yeah, I visited that site this year.
You did? Yeah. And you know, the government was supporting to build 45 hydropower plants in Vjosa and the tributaries, the rivers that flow into the Vjosa. Now it's a national park, and we are working with the government now to create a concept for tourism, a concept for fishing, and all this, what is necessary. You know? The Neretva would have the potential for this as well. So you have to exclude the middle part, Jablanica, and all the reservoirs until Mostar, no? But the upper part, from Konitz to the springs, and the lower part with Buna, Budica, Zalomka, and others, it's at least European importance, maybe global importance. And that is, you know, we have a jewel here from the Bosnian perspective. No matter what is Republika Srpska or Federation or Brčko, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. It is of a European importance. It's a jewel you have, and you're about to kill it. And if we let them, they kill it more than any other river. So there will nothing be able. There will be almost no water from Buna, Budica, Bregava will completely escape. People in Stolac, you know, they live from the river.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Bunski Canal, all that, and the impact will also affect in Croatia, the delta, because there would be less water in the Neretva itself.
Mm-hmm. And salty water would
salt water would come in.
Yeah.
You know, a delta is always kind of a mixed zone, a battlefield between freshwater and the marine water, no? And that makes it, under natural circumstances, super diverse, super interesting. It's always, when things clash, you know, it's cool in a way.
You get new ecosystem, right?
Yes. And with less water, the salt water will win and will go up. No? And that's, in the times of global warming, it's even more idiotic to do.
Yeah. I suppose you met activists here in Bosnia and Herzegovina, yeah?
Sure.
Is it correct?
Sure. It's correct.
Did you receive information that could be useful to you in lobbying against the further construction of hydropower plants? How much can you help activists against powerful energy lobbies in this small country?
And we are always, I'm coordinating this Blue Heart campaign, Save the Blue Heart of Europe. And we're working together with organizations in Bosnia like the Center for Environment in the Republika Srpska, with ACT in Sarajevo. But I know the activists on Buna, Bunica. I know the activists in most of the country because I'm there for 11 years now. And we try to help as much as possible. We support the lawyers. And I think even though we're talking now about all the bad stuff, what's happening, there is not many countries in Europe that were so successful in the last years in stopping dams. No, it's not only Neretva or Doljanka or Buna, Bunica,
Ruščica, yeah.
Right, and there are more because I'm sure, I'm 1000% convinced that no new hydro on Neretva will be built. All the planned dams on Gornja Neretva 7, Ljuta 8 or 9, that you name it. Then there is a river Jezernica that's near the town of Ulok. You can jump across this river. And now when I was there is not even a drop of water entering the Neretva, so small. But they plan to build 4 dams. It's insane. So, but I'm sure, long story short, I'm sure together with the activists, with national NGOs and us, with lawyers and scientists, they will not build them. The only pain in the ass are bigger dams, like the ones under construction. The Ulok is really one of the worst because where it is, it's right in the middle of Upper Neretva and Glavatičevo to Konjic region. No? That's the same is, by the way, true for Drina. Drina is under attack as well. So Drina system and Neretva system are those rivers that are under attack the most in Europe. There is no other comparable things in the whole continent.
I also wanted to ask you about another case. You are familiar with the case of construction of heavy metal mine in Vareš. It's mine owned by British Australian company Adriatic Metals. I think you shared this photo on your X profile from Vareš, where the small streams are polluted by this new mine, which is now under construction. We receive opposite informations from the company and from local community. Company is denying the responsibility for the pollution in streams, and local community says they are polluting their stream which they drink. So we need more information from independent source for this problem. You don't have any knowledge about that. No.
No, just one more thing. I will use the opportunity here. I see 2 big things for Bosnia. Bosnia is, for me, the most beautiful country on the Balkans still because of all the natural beauty. That beauty is, in marketing, people would say, a unique selling point for international community people. And that's the same with Vjosa. Now, everyone wants to go to Vjosa because that's nature. People are longing for nature because we don't have it anymore elsewhere. I see 2 big things. The rivers are crucial for Bosnia, and the forests. That's the main ecosystems and the forests will get under attack, the next one. When I go, in the last 5 years, I see so many more trucks with dead wood, with wood on the trucks. And most of them is old growth beech forest trunks. It's also Kalinovic, this whole region of Kalinovic. They go there, they cut and they sell it for firewood or whatever.
I recently did story about woods in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
And that is another thing we have to address. Intact rivers are only possible with intact forests, and the other way around. That proved last year's Science Week. There's this connection in Gornji Neretva, for example, between the forest and the river is so strong. It's so strong that normal people might think there is no. But for example, the professors from the university in Vienna, they caught in one night in the upper Neretva part, in one night, in one trip, 40,000 Cadiz flies. That is a species that live as a larva in the river, and then hatch and fly for 3 weeks or something. 40,000 is so much. It's unbelievable. And they said this is only possible because there is also the forest around, creating different habitats. And when it's so hot, all these flies, these Cadiz flies, fly also in the forest because it's cold. So this is a strong connection. And so my point is we need to protect this Neretva system as much as possible. And we will work together with these activists and NGOs on that. How would that be? And I'm sure the upper part, this Gornji Neretva, with the forest, should become a national park. And then we need international funding, that's also my position, to manage and finance this park. Because you can easily declare a park, whatever, but they're mostly existing on paper. So what the crucial point of every protected area is the management. You need a national park director, you need staffs, rangers that are paid sustainably to take care of that region. And that is when we put the international flashlight on Neretva, on Una, on the there is a bigger chance that international money would come if the government declares it a national park or a biosphere reserve, something like that.
Okay, we have only 4 minutes. Is that your next action you will take after visiting Bosnia and Herzegovina to try to help to establish a national park in Upper Neretva?
It's my very next steps is I go to Albania next week for another week. But then, it's. I think we need to align. We did already. I think this Neretva activists and groups, they're really great. I mean, for me, the resistance and the motivation and the power of people in Balkans, and especially in Bosnia, is for me a role model for all. If there's something that gives us hope in protecting nature, it comes from your country. So I will come and discuss the points. We need to be all agreeing on that, and then go and be ready for a longer hike, marathon, because these things never happen like that. But if we could convince these different governments, that's the critical part about Bosnia. It's difficult in principle, but nevertheless, maybe rivers unite. Even in the divided countries, the fight to save the heritage might unite, no matter what religion, whatever where you come from.
Nice message for the end in this divided country. Mr. Eichelmann, thank you for this conversation and best wishes.
Pleasure. Goodbye from Page. Ciao.
See you.